penalties for sure, too many there, and then some of the other mistakes that we had. So we'll get that cleaned up, and we'll get ready for the Colts. Time's yours.
It's a tough game. It's a division game, and you never really feel good after a loss. That's a lot of lessons you can learn after a loss. I think for us, most importantly, coming together as a team, self-evaluation at an all-time high, sense of urgency at an all-time high, and critiquing. I think we got a bunch of penalties today, so if we want to win, we got to not beat ourselves. That's a starting point. But coming together as a team, relying on each other. This moment right here is very pivotal for us as a team to make sure we come as a cohesive unit. So easy to point fingers, especially after a loss, especially when you have so many expectations from everybody else. But most importantly, it's about what matters in the building and amongst each other.
Just having an opportunity at the end of the game and not coming through, getting the ball back with 4 minutes, and all you need is a field goal is a spot that we've been in a lot, and we've been able to do that. But obviously the first play, I tried to get a completion to Trav, but probably should just hang in there, and I think Hollywood would have opened up down the field. So just being better in that scenario. There's hit things here and there, but I think that's the biggest one. That's what you want. You want to get that opportunity at the end of the game, and we didn't. I didn't come through.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Monday, November 17th, 2025. Stephen St. John here with Todd Leabo, Jake Gutierrez, Deebs. Today on the show, we'll talk to Pete Sweeney from the Kansas City Star. Scott Carroll will stop by the studio. We'll also talk to Bill Moss
about his trip to Pittsburgh. Probably wasn't great. I'm sure he had a fun time, though. Notre Dame got him pretty good.
Yeah. I was rooting for Pitt. But
yeah. Too good of a start for Notre Dame in that game. Good scene, though. College game day, the whole 9 yards. Looked nice.
It's a tough Monday for Chiefs fans after that loss to the Broncos. Broncos beat the Chiefs 22-19. And, there are a lot of times in my life where I think, man, am I lucky to have the job that I have. I get to wake up, hang out with some good friends, talk about sports, talk about the teams that I grew up following. I get to watch games and cover games and interview interesting people, get to host events and make appearances. But there's every once in a while, very, very rarely, I might add, every once in a while, I think to myself, man, my job sucks. And it's when I don't want to talk about a game that I just watched. I just want to let it go and move on with my life. Go do something else. Just ignore it and move on and, maybe talk about it in a couple of days after the dust has settled. Well, I can't do that because that's what I get paid to do, talk about games.
That's what happens. 6 a.m. comes on Monday.
Back when I was a kid and the Chiefs would have a tough loss.
You just put it away.
I wouldn't, my mom, my beloved mother in heaven, she knew, she would know, like,
let's not talk about
don't
this
talk
one.
about it. Let me make my boy something to delicious to eat
A soup.
to make him something involving tortillas or just
Something more hearty.
A simple tortilla and cheese. Tortilla and cheese, mijo? Yeah, yes I do.
Make you feel better.
Please give it to me.
Forget about John Elway.
But look, 99.9% of the time I love my job.
So this is a 1% day?
Well, just like, like I didn't want to talk about the game last night.
But you
Afterwards.
want to talk about it today, though.
Well, I was watching with Phil, and then I started kind of getting into it a little bit too much right after, of what happened, what
You
went
get a little
wrong.
exercise.
And he kind of got mad, and he goes, "Oh, you don't have to tell me." I go, "I'm okay. Well, I'm trying to talk myself through this." After Lutz had kicked the game-winning 35-yard field goal as time expired, because he doesn't miss field goals. It's 5 in the game, so.
What was the breaking point between
sucked.
you and Phil? What did he want to hear?
Oh, he didn't want to talk about it really. He wanted to go right into how he lost his fantasy game because we'd had a long conversation via text before the game about how in the league that we have a team together with, with Petro and Boger and everyone else in our league, I had told him we're going to start Sean Tucker at flex because I have a good feeling that this is, he's going to do well. I like it. He's starting to get more touches than Rashad White. The Bills don't have a good run defense. It's going to be, I like this. And he's in a league, and he was trying to decide whether to start Sean Tucker or like Roma Dunze or someone else at flex. I said, well, and he had some other options. I said I would start Tucker or Dunze, but I mean Tucker's been good, but I'm not gonna, I don't want to, make him because then he'll get mad. Like, why did you make,
You lead him.
I should have pushed him more, but I brought up Sean Tucker to him because I made him pick up Sean Tucker. Then of course Sean Tucker, he doesn't start him, but Sean Tucker went off for 3 touchdowns, and that's one of the
So start off sour.
That's one of the saving graces for my football weekend. That and Ahmad Hardy's 300 yards rushing
Did you
against
like that?
Mississippi State. I did like it, but
It's almost like he should get more than 13 carries sometimes.
yeah, really, or carries around the goal line.
Interesting place to give a guy a ball.
In retrospect, but so he wanted to go right to fantasy football, and I wasn't ready to move on to that.
We got to talk about these
It's
last
just
2
like
possessions.
right after the game, I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, right then. Let's analyze this.
And then I was sitting at my desk. I said, "Okay, I'll watch." I never watch our Chiefs post game on YouTube. I always listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, let me watch it."
Turn it on. You see
So
Jack in
I
here?
did watch Jack Johnson in here.
Was Deebs running around?
He does I just saw Jack, but Jack does a fine job. And so I sat and watched that, and I stress ate a little something,
Get tortillas,
even though I wasn't
tortillas.
hungry. Sat there and ate.
What was it?
I don't know.
You remember. What'd you
I'm
have?
trying to think.
Like a healthy
No,
head
no.
of kale?
No, it was like my leftovers from LC's Hamburgers.
Oh.
A double burger with an egg on it. Oh man, that's good. So
At
anyway,
least you had leftovers. That
I
is
sat
good.
there and listened and listened, and then I got mad at some of the callers. Who's the first guy that calls in
I
all the
forget his
time?
name.
Gary.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And he just pisses me off, and I'm like, why are you?
We
letting
should have him call right now.
No, it's never. He can
Maybe this is
never
the
call
day to
this
open the
show.
lines,
Yeah,
Jake.
go ahead. Yeah,
It's
call
not the
in.
day.
Call
You'll
in.
never get through.
I'll talk to him. Come on in.
Okay? You don't. I'm just telling you, people that are listening, you don't want to call because you have to talk to Jake and he'll
Call.
cuss you out.
Call in. I
You
dare
know.
you.
And it just went on and on,
I
and
dare
he
ya.
started calling Andy Reid names. Like, why are we doing this? Don't stop.
What did he call him?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay.
Just it was
listen to the
it was insulting, and so
So that got you in a better mood?
no, I just sat there and listened, and I tried to immerse myself in it just to try to because I knew I was going to have to talk about it
Right.
today. So it wouldn't be like ripping, I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. I want to hear it.
You sit there and bled.
So I sat there and listened for like an hour, and tried to think about the game and what went wrong with the game, and it's hard for me to get past. Number one, honestly, after Travis Kelce scored the touchdown, I thought, okay, they're going to win this game.
And they got the ball
They're
back.
going to win this game.
Yeah.
They're going to win this game. He breaks a tackle, gets into the end zone. Butker gets his extra point blocked. And
It looked like a fine kick. Just looked like terrible protection.
It's still 19-16, and I think they're going to win this game. Now this is where they take over. This is where they show that they're the better team. This is where the championship DNA reveals itself. They took the lead in such a fashion, and it's Travis Kelce that now they're going to get a stop, and they go out and put the game away. And then they went out and got a stop right after that, 3 and out. But the next 2 drives were terrible. And that next drive, and this is probably the one that sticks in my head more than the last one, because another penalty, another false start
to start it. Yeah, that was a horrible way to start.
But it was 3rd and 2, And look, I have no expectation, even if it's the right choice, they're not going to run the football.
No.
Especially with the game on the line. They're not running the football. And I thought at 3rd and 2, I thought, you know what? This actually might be a really good spot because Kareem Hunt's been good. They've been able to pick up 4 and 5 yards. This actually, because sometimes I'm stupid and I allow myself to think, oh, this would be a really good spot for a quarterback sneak. Maybe now they're going to do it. And then I just remember, oh, they're never going to do that. Why do I even, But boy, what a spot that would have been for it. And I thought it's 3rd and 2. Man, wouldn't this be a spot for them to run the ball? Because I think they might pick it up because
Denver's not expecting
it. I'm not expecting it. And no one's expecting it. And isn't that the trick sometimes about football? When you can do something that no one's expecting and catch them off guard? Well, of course they didn't. And it was just a bizarre, like you're throwing the ball to Rashard Smith.
Under pressure. Wasn't his first read. I mean, earlier in the game, they ran a really cute little play to, I think, Xavier Worthy on a 3rd and short. But it was one of those they schemed up, and it was just so open you couldn't. Rashard Smith wasn't open. There was nowhere to go. They did a nice job of keeping Mahomes from being able to scramble as well. That was a tough part for this game.
There was a reluctance for him to run a few times. He did have an opportunity, I thought, a couple of times to run, and he didn't.
And not on that play.
And I was angered by you brought that up. I was angered by that. There were a couple of times when I thought he could have run to pick up yards, and he didn't. And I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
So that 3rd and 2, I think, will stick with us for a while because there was an opportunity there to pick up that first down, get the chains moving, and then who knows? Then after that, they punted away, and the special teams sucks. They give up after they give up the 60-some yard punt return earlier. Mm-hmm. It's not a headline, but they gave up a 24-yard punt return.
Well, they received on that when he kicked it 60 yards almost.
But they gave up a 24-yard punt return.
They were worried. Dave Tobe said on Thursday, whatever, they were worried about Mims. He's a good returner.
Well, they should have been.
But, they did not win the special teams game.
There's too many mistakes from special teams continuously. I mean, the blocked extra point.
Blocked extra point. How about Harrison Butker kicking the ball 5 yards short of the landing zone?
Almost every week, there's a variety of special teams penalties that remind us that those teams aren't special.
They're not very good.
They're teams. Okay? They're not special. Dave Tobe is no longer the special teams coordinator. He's a teams coordinator. There ain't nothing special about those teams. So Denver kicks the field goal. It's tied. You're thinking, okay, all right, here we go. And I even looked at Phil watching the game. I said, you know what? If you'd have told me that
they'd be tied up,
the Chiefs get the ball with 4 minutes left in a tie game, sign me up for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that. I'll take that. The first, and I heard, we've heard Patrick Mahomes talking about that. The first pass, he forced it to Kelsey. He's not open. That was almost
It was
could have
behind
been
him,
an
too,
interception, but it just wasn't open. Wasn't open. Second pass, like you said, he scrambles. That scramble was right, and again forced the ball to Kelsey, who made a remarkable catch, but he was just out of bounds.
Right.
And then on third down, what did Denver do?
They blitzed.
Blitzed what?
The defensive
The
back.
corner again, who had an interception and a couple of sacks.
I don't like that guy.
But the point is, they didn't give Mahomes any time to come up with some magic or to scramble or to do anything. They blitzed him, and he was unable to read it in time or do whatever he needed to do to deliver the ball to an open receiver, and that was the end of the drive. And so that surprised me that those two drives were so terrible with the game on the line.
They got nothing.
2 3-and-outs.
Yeah.
That one really surprised me because the game / AFC West is on the line, and you go backwards. And so then you get into a situation where, okay, the defense, get a stop here. Get a stop. And they gave up a 3rd and 15. You had, with 2 minutes left, you've got them at 3rd and 15 at their own 21. You stop them there, there's a good chance you could win that football game.
Yeah.
And they give up the pass to Cortland Sutton
With no pressure on the quarterback.
and blitz. Hey, you know what? I even said, you know what, Phil? In my ramblings, he probably just wanted me to stop talking, but I wouldn't. I said, you know what? I might think about blitzing McDuffie here. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah. They may not expect that, and McDuffie's so good at.
They've gotten a sack early in the game when Shamari Connor blitzed.
You know, do something. Spags, exotic blitzes. Do something they're not going to expect. Get after them,
or at least keep the. You can't let someone get behind you.
But they don't. They gave him too much time.
Easy completion.
So they give up a conversion on 3rd and 15. And then another one on 3rd and 5.
And then the game's over.
Which was a backbreaker. Yeah. Well, the game wasn't over then. The game wasn't over until the 32-yard pass. Because it was weird. They were around the 50. They weren't in field goal territory. They just couldn't run the ball. And so they as the dialogue continued watching the game, I told them, I said, hey, they're gonna have to throw the ball again to get into field goal territory. They're gonna have to put the ball in harm's way. So that means either risk a sack or
holding
or risk risk a holding or risk an interception, risk if Knicks will finally make a mistake. None of that happened. Now, it looked like, but I'm not gonna sit here and complain and point to this, but it sure looked like, and you saw the Chiefs defensive back pointing at it, it sure looked like Troy Franklin moved, which should have been a false start.
Yeah, Watson was pointing at him.
I mean, he moved.
But then you got to get your head right and play defense.
I know some people thought there was confusion about who was covering who. No, he was pointing because Franklin moved, and he did. But whatever. Again, they act, and Romo, what did Romo say? That they act like they're.
You got to drop out here.
But you got to drop out. I'm thinking, no, you blitz somebody. You have to because the front four's not doing it. You have to put some kind of pressure on them. You can't let them sit back there, and it was just too easy.
Yeah.
And look, and here's the deal. I have not been a believer in Bo Nix, but Bo Nix put the Broncos in position to beat the Chiefs in similar fashion last year at Arrowhead, and they just got the field goal blocked. Mm-hmm. Remember, we were sitting there watching. He made some nice passes to put him in field goal territory. This year, watching that game, Patrick Mahomes had 2 chances and was unable to deliver.
Even a first down.
Bo Nix had the opportunity, and he delivered. So he proved me wrong. He shut me up. he came through with the game and the division on the line. He outplayed Mahomes. That's it.
Yeah, he played better.
And
He made plays.
he did not have a back-breaking interception in the red zone. And once again, Mahomes did. And we can sit here and talk about all these, and I'm sitting here talking, and I don't agree with Spags not sending some kind of pressure, some type of blitz, trying to manufacture some pressure on those third downs or in really anywhere in that drive. I don't get it. I don't agree with it.
He's deciding whether to run. They're inviting the run here, but don't do it.
Here's Nix on 2nd and 8. Going for a big throw, and it's caught by Franklin.
You got to put some pressure on him, man.
Really, on the 3rd and 15 was when they killed me.
But there
Before. It was just bad. Listen,
Romo even called it, he goes, "This is where you're going to throw the ball here." He even said, "This is where you win the game here. This is it. The second down. The second down."
Yeah.
Other people knew you had to create some kind of pressure there. But all that said, okay, and listen, this is me. It's partially because they're with the Broncos, but even from the Saints, I'm not a Sean Payton fan.
Yeah, I think
I don't like him. He's super smug and arrogant and everything else.
This is what angers me about this game as much as anything, because it kind of proves him right about last year when they got their butt beat by the Bills. Oh, we liked our next matchup.
That's
you
great.
know, and now they've won this game, and I don't know. Bleh.
Nothing is proven right until they go out and win a playoff game. They got to go do something in the playoffs. At the end of the day, in a month or two from now, this will all be blanks and giggles, and they got to back it up in the playoffs.
For sure.
But that sounds like, for me, if I sit here and say that sounds like a loser mentality. I'm not going to talk about that yet, but they still got to before But yesterday, Sean Payton outcoached Andy Reid. Yesterday, their coaching staff was better than the Chiefs' coaching staff. Yesterday, Bo Nix outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And that's it. And look, I know that you've heard this song and dance before, but all those things happened, and it still came down to a last-second field goal. The Chiefs were right there. But they had golden opportunities to win this football game, and they didn't do it again. 0-5 in one-score games. They couldn't do it again. And so as much as I want to sit here and tell you about how I didn't like the game plan offensively or defensively, I still can't figure out why Patrick Mahomes threw that interception. I just can't, he's so good for so long that I don't know why he threw that interception. I don't get it. And there's been too many of those this year. We're like, what was he doing? What did he see? Even that interception earlier in the game, like what was that throw that was erased from a penalty? Like what was that? You can't throw that. In that game where it's so tight, you can't give up points. Because guess what? It turned out those 3 points that they would have gotten,
Pretty big.
if he didn't throw the interception, huge, game deciding. In a game like that, you can't give away points. You can't. And they gave away points. They gave away 3 points that they had in the bag. And so all that said, and the Broncos won at the end, the Broncos deserved it. And the one thing I didn't think would happen happened. Bo Nix played better than Mahomes. And Mahomes has to wear that. And now, here we are. The division is done. The streak is over. But the season isn't over. And they better play like it. They have to win every game to get into the playoffs. In my mind. Could they lose one? Sure, and get in the... But... Screw that mentality. They got to win every game to get in the playoffs. They have to feel that way. They have to believe that. I don't want to hear, they go 6-1. No, they got to win every game, and it's got to start Sunday with the Colts. Crap or get off the pot. Or we'll be talking about no playoffs. And we could be talking about that. And I know you always say, go check out social media to see the real opinions out there, because that's what really matters.
Yeah.
A lot of people are jumping off the bandwagon. Playoffs are over. It's done. Era's over. I'm not ready to say that. Go win games. Go win close games. Pull your head out of your ass. All right? Don't be so overconfident and arrogant to think that the same thing you always do is always going to work. Other teams have caught up to you. Okay? Chris Jones, I don't want to hear that speech anymore. We've heard that speech after several games now.
Do it.
It's
talk
no
it.
more talking and words. You got to action. You got to go win. And it starts Sunday. Bitter disappointment, bitter loss, but we'll talk about it for 4 straight hours and just really take your face and rub it in all the poop. Take a big, and there's nuts in it. That's how bad it is. I'm sorry. I'm not right in the head. This affects me, you know. Don't look at me.
Those aren't nuts. That's corn.
Corn.
Delicious corn.
One
Had some corn over the
one
weekend.
time.
I did have corn over the weekend. We'll take a break. Chiefs lose. Let's just not lose our minds. Back into this on WHB. See, that's right. There is no tomorrow. That's what they gotta win. Thank you. Listen here, Kansas City. Do you love breakfast? I do. I love breakfast, especially at the Hy-Vee Market Grill. I love getting a nice omelet with some delicious potatoes and toast. You know, Hy-Vee's famous biscuits and gravy are delicious. Their sweet cream pancakes, omelets and skillets, all served with a side of fresh and crispy hash browns. Oh, boy. Now, listen, tomorrow only. Is tomorrow 11/18, Jake? Sure.
Tomorrow, yep, it sure is.
Okay, tomorrow only, 11/18.
Tuesday, 11/18.
From 6 a.m. until 2 p.m., buy one breakfast entree and get a second one for free. So bring a friend and get a free breakfast on Hy-Vee. All right? Tomorrow, Tuesday, 11/18, from 6 a.m. until 2 p.m., buy one breakfast entree, get a second one for free. Only at Hy-Vee.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always been just championships. We've dealt with adversity, and guys have learned and gotten better from it. I mean, obviously, this is something that we haven't dealt with so early in the season. But at the same time, I mean, I know what the guys I know the guys in that locker room and know how they're going to respond. And all we can do is stick together and push ourselves to be even better and try to do what we can to win this next week.
Got to do a better job, put in a better situation to get out there. Welcome back to the show. I'll let you guys get whatever you want off your chest. I feel a little bit better. I want to play Andy Reid's press conference. Just play it and listen to what he had to say. But Todd, Jake, if you want to say anything, or if you'd like to address Ahmad Hardy's 300 yards rushing against Mississippi State.
I'd like to talk about Oklahoma beating Alabama.
Oh, did that happen?
Good for you.
Ah, that's good.
That's $5 in your
Listen,
pocket.
here's the deal. I had a wonderful Saturday. I went and picked my dad up because he lives close to me now. He's over at John Knox Village.
How much does he
loving
weigh?
it. He's less than he used to be, but he's tall, but he's getting skinny, so I pick him up. I carry him over.
Carry him around.
Yeah, and
That's nice of you.
The lanky
he
Gary.
came over. We sat down in the basement and watched that game. He just had a great time.
How
watching
happy
that
was
game.
he?
He was freaking happy. Very happy. He was so happy he called a friend of his whose kid is like in the Alabama band to rub it in.
Talk
I said,
trash?
that's not
Yeah.
very nice, Dad.
No,
It is.
that's how you should do it.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a
Gary.
great time watching that game with
I like
him.
the fact that he did that.
But the Chiefs game was just it. I don't like it because I've seen good things out of Bo Nix. You know, you mentioned the game last year at Arrowhead, and I like even the crappy Raiders game. They were so bad last Thursday. He made a couple really nice plays in it that were game-winning plays, right? But that was against the horrible Raiders. He didn't make any tremendous mistakes yesterday. He didn't kill him yesterday. The Chiefs weren't able to get him to make errors, and he was better yesterday. You know, Mahomes threw the horrible interception. He made some bad choices on where to throw the ball. He missed. I mean, I thought one of the plays of the game, the first drive, my God, Xavier Worthy is 3 yards open, and you miss him by 3 yards. Those are supposed to be plays that you make. They ended up, Tyquan Thornton got one. They got a couple of PIs, but there were other plays on deep passes that he just did not make.
He does not throw an accurate deep ball.
No, it was not good. It was not good. But I thought in the end, I thought Travis Kelce maybe had his best game of the year. He rose to the occasion, right? Scored a touchdown, caught a lot of passes. I thought Chris Jones played as well and as intense as he's played all year.
That defense played well.
You're supposed
So the game
to.
was on the line?
Right.
You are supposed to, if you hold someone to 22 points and you have Patrick Mahomes and all of these weapons that everyone thinks are good, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy,
After
Travis
he had
Kelce,
a couple of drops,
Hollywood Brown.
where did Rashee Rice go?
No, I don't know. He played 80% of the snaps. He just wasn't getting the ball.
I realize everybody's got to eat. Everybody's also got to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bad drop.
Two of them, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
Well, the one where Mahomes
Yeah, ran around
everything and then delivered a
went
pass
right through his hands.
So you look at all the stats in this game. You watch the game. It was an even game. They had about the same amount of yards. They both had 10 penalties. The Broncos, it was a lot more yards because there were the long ones. Difference in the game was the turnover. And the Broncos did not turn the ball over, which you have to play clean football. The Chiefs did not play clean football, and it was a terrible interception. It cost them points, or at least a chance at points. And the Chiefs weren't as good on special teams. That's the place where, that's where you don't have yards on there that we just look at those regular stats like
Right.
this is rushing yards, receiving yards, all that stuff. Broncos were better on special teams, for sure.
And they each had a chance at the end of the game to score.
The Chiefs had two chances. The Broncos had two chances. The Chiefs scored none, and the Broncos scored twice. There you go. And it's disappointing because I agree with you. I think the division is dead. I know there are people out there who are blind who think, well, all they got to do is win 7 games. And of course, the Broncos will lose. Listen, the Chiefs have not shown the ability to go win 7 games in a row.
The division's done. That's toast.
Toast.
Yeah.
And, by the way, freaking Jacksonville won yesterday, so that's not good for you.
Nope. Means you're going to have 11 wins.
How do you get to 11?
You could say it's not good, but they beat the Chargers, and the Chargers look so bad. I'm not putting them in the playoffs.
Well, maybe one of those
might,
teams, but do the Chiefs look good?
No.
Okay.
But they didn't look like the Chargers did
No,
yesterday.
they didn't get beat that bad.
They didn't look like that. I'd be very concerned if I was a Chargers fan.
Yeah, their offensive line's a disaster
And the
right now.
Chiefs get another crack at the Chargers. And so people have been thinking as far as wild card Chiefs or Jags, I wouldn't put the Chargers in there the way they looked yesterday.
And right now, I mean, the Ravens won again yesterday, so they are creeping up.
4 in a row.
And Houston, all of a sudden, is tied with the Chiefs at 5-5. They play each other here in a few weeks. So it's going to be right down to the wire. We're going to be looking at the playoff picture the way we haven't looked at the playoff picture in years.
In the hunt.
Yeah, we're in the hunt.
You're
True.
in the hunt.
And you're doing all the weirdo tiebreakers and
You're
all
not
that
worrying,
stuff.
oh, can we
What's
get
the
that
strength
one
of
seed?
victory? You know?
And it's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
But here we are.
But you're right. No more talking about it. Got to clean it up. Sure. Chris Jones, I liked what he said. You got to, but you can't just say it. You got to do it. And I thought it was interesting, the clip you played in the Open, Jake, where Patrick, he does a good job with we and I and all that. He almost slipped up and he said, we got, and then he stopped and he said, I. Because he felt he made a bad decision on that first third down, the first play of the last drive, right, where he tried to throw it to Travis real quick. So I think they'll have that right attitude. But they've been dealing with, I mean, listen, we haven't even mentioned Josh Simmons played, right? We still have I don't know if we need to know what happened or why, but he was gone for a month. Maybe when everybody's back and all this, they'll kind of figure things out. But once again, they lost a player on interception. Kingsley Suamataea is in concussion protocol. I don't know if he'll be back this week or what.
Yeah.
Every time the Chiefs throw a pick, they get someone hurt on their own team because he's in some weird position going down there and trying to tackle somebody. Because you know what they remember? We can't let the guy go score a touchdown.
Right.
I mean, those dudes in Tyquan Thornton ran him down, got the ball out.
Almost, yeah. I mean, almost got the fumble.
So, anyway, it's just disappointing because does it feel like the Broncos are better than the Chiefs to you right now? Or at least equal? It does to me.
They're better.
Yeah.
They're better.
And that's not what we've been feeling for 10 years.
And that's a defense that didn't even have their best player on it.
Yeah.
That's so yeah. That they're better. They're better.
And that, I felt in 15 when the Broncos they won the Super Bowl, right? I kind of thought the Chiefs were actually better than them, but they ended up finding a way. That was when Osweiler had to take over, and their defense was so good. But the Chiefs were there, and they were better or equal to them, and then they've won the division every year since then. I don't think that's maybe going to happen with the Broncos right now. But right now, the Chiefs don't look like a better team than the Broncos. And people of our age don't like that.
So many mental errors and examples of not being disciplined, especially after a bye week, is mind-boggling.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Chiefs beat the Broncos in the rematch. And like I said, this Colts game is going to be incredibly tough.
Yeah.
But then you look at the rest of the schedule. I mean, the Chiefs are going to be favorites. I mean, hell, the Chiefs are favored in this game,
Yep.
but the Chiefs are favored in this Colts game.
Yep.
But I mean, this is again, there's different levels to it. Yesterday, it was for the division, and they lost. Now, it's for the playoffs. They have to have the mindset that they have to win every game.
Mm-hmm.
They have to win every game. And if they win every game, they'll put a loss on the Chargers in there. They'll put a loss on the Texans in there. And everything will take care of itself. But they got to win every game, period.
Yeah, what is it, 21 when they were 5-4, I think, but they haven't been 5-5 in a year yet. So this is uncharted territory for this crew. And they'll have to respond. And listen, this is when in May when the schedule came out, you thought the Colts were no big deal. Well, Jonathan Taylor's probably the best player in the AFC. He's incredible. So they have their hands full, and I know they've done a nice job against running backs this year. And I don't believe in the Colts, but I believe in Jonathan Taylor. And if you let him get out the gate on you, you could have yourself a long day.
Yeah, and Steven pointed out earlier in the year, and Grundy pointed out again on Friday, that's probably the best offensive line in the league.
Yeah. And the Chiefs haven't shown they've been getting after the quarterback, really. So
Right.
Oh, the Colts are a terrific team.
yeah. And they're also a team that's generally won a lot of these close games.
Yep.
And the Chiefs just don't win them.
They did not impress me when they played Atlanta 2 weeks ago. They should have lost that game, but they
they
found
won.
a way to win. Right,
Yeah.
they found a way to win that game in overtime.
Yeah, they've got 1, 2, 3 close wins this year, couple of close losses, but yeah, they're an interesting team. You know, they look like they're playing above their talent level.
I'm
And
glad
the-
that game's
the Chiefs
here
don't.
at Arrowhead. That's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. A little nooner.
What do you think of Kelsey declining to talk postgame?
You know, I don't know.
I'm asking you a question. I mean,
I think Travis Kelce is.
because he played a really good game.
He
I don't-
did,
these are
but
both-
he also set the record for touchdowns, and then he also lost. So he's got some red ass to him.
He said, if
for
you're going to
sure.
ask me about the record, I could care less about that right now.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I like that about him, and maybe he doesn't want to get fined or whatever, or maybe he wants to save it for his podcast. You know what I mean? So
I think there's an element of him wanting to save it for his podcast, but also he doesn't want to talk about setting a record when they
on
lost.
a loss, yeah.
Because he cares more about winning.
I agree with that.
We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here for my friends at Window Nation. And, you know, November, we're more than halfway through November. And so you have an opportunity right now at Window Nation to take advantage of their end-of-year sale. You'll save big with 50% off all window styles. Plus, you can get 0% financing for 5 years. And Window Nation will include their professional one-day installation. How good is that? And their proven quality windows are so good, you're actually going to save money on lower utility bills. And they come with a lifetime warranty. And they even have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on 50% off and 0 interest for 5 years. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com to get started. That's windownation.com. And when you talk to the good folks at Window Nation, be sure to tell them Stephen St. John sent you.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I think Coach Reed says it when he kind of talks to us at the end of games and stuff like that. And it's always about the next week. And like I said, you gotta feel it. I mean, it sucks losing this football game, and when you think you have a chance to win it, and you don't do that, and kind of get yourself behind. But at the end of the day, all you gotta do is find a way to get in. We got a lot of games ahead of us, and we're gonna do our best to put ourselves in position to go out there and play our best football each and every week.
Oh, good. Now they're going to play their best. I'm glad.
Starting
Yeah.
now.
I was hoping they would.
Shakedown Street's getting shaky.
You want to play Andy Reid here?
Yeah, well,
Should I?
yeah, if you want.
Okay. Let's listen to Andy Reid, what he had to say after the Broncos beat the Chiefs in Denver yesterday.
All right. As far as the injuries go, really Kingsley was the only one that got hurt on the interception there. So hit his head on the turf. Listen, Denver played a good game and they got us today. On our side, I've got to make sure that we don't go 3 and out with those last couple offensive series. And then there were a variety of things that went on that we all contributed to. So throughout both sides of the ball and special teams, and there were some good things, but when you're playing a good football team and you got to cut back on your penalties for sure, too many there, and then some of the other mistakes that we had. So we'll get that cleaned up and we'll get ready for the Colts. Time's yours. We needed to do better on them. I could have given the guys better opportunity to do that.
Coach, coming out of the bye and having so many penalties, hoping to be crispy with the time on.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you look for. I think everybody, that's probably an obvious one, right?
What led to some of the sellouts you think in the first half? Couldn't really
Yeah, well, listen, they're the number one defense in the National Football League. So we were fighting, and then we had some where we were going backwards and kind of self-inflicted things. So we've got to take care of that. Yeah, we still had opportunities, so you don't want that, right? Pat didn't want it. I don't want it. I mean, that's not what you want, but it's there were other opportunities as we went, so we got to make sure we take care of that business. Go ahead. Yeah, so he was able to get out containment there, and the receiver worked to get himself open. We had a couple guys right around him there, so quarterback made a play, receiver made a play.
Took a couple downfield shots in the first series that looked like could have been there. Obviously, type 1 catches. Was that just the way the game unfolded? Was that something that you were seeing?
Yeah, I mean, we thought we had some opportunities down the field. Didn't work out, but I mean, percentages, you're going to take a few and lose a few of those, but we felt like it would come back and help us, and it did later on in the game.
The block extra point, too.
Yeah, they did a good job splitting us right there, and we've been pretty good in that area, and they got us on that one. Yeah, I thought he did a good job for being off as long as he was, and then going against who he went against. Did a pretty good job there. Yeah.
Andy, one of the things this year is your guys' inability to win in one-score games. Is there sort of a message that you have for the guys, and how good you guys are doing?
Yeah, when you're playing good teams, whether it's myself making a call or the players playing, you can't. You've got to do the right things. Put the guys in the right position, and the guys got to make plays when given an opportunity. Both sides of the ball, special teams. That's what we're all in it together. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Got all your answers?
No.
Oh.
Got none of them, to be honest with you. That was Andy Reid after the game. We'll be right back after this on WHB. Jake wants me to tell you about Healthy Sleep Midwest, and so I'm going to do just that. If you have been dealing with sleep apnea and you really just aren't benefiting from a CPAP for whatever reason, then you should talk to my friends at Healthy Sleep Midwest. You know, the holidays are almost here, and you got shopping, travel, parties, family gatherings. You need restful sleep to keep up with it all. If sleep apnea is leaving you exhausted, it's time to make a change. At Healthy Sleep Midwest, you can ditch the CPAP for a small custom oral appliance that helps you sleep comfortably through the night. And if you've already met your 2025 deductible, now's the perfect time to get started. Medicare patients could even pay little to nothing out of pocket. Call 816-SLEEP-DOCTOR. That's 816-SLEEP-DR. Or visit HealthySleepMidwest.com. Healthy Sleep Midwest helps you rest easy, feel merry, and enjoy the season. And when you talk to Healthy Sleep Midwest, tell them SSJ sent you.